Now, I've been filling a box over the last week or so. I've been filling actually boxes, and the one you can see on the screen at the moment is a box I've been filling up, and it's basically full of the top end is hedgehogs, the top 3 rows, sorry, and then you've got muddlers, and then palmers at the bottom. You've got wingless and winged at the very end. Now, there's some nice patterns, and this is one. When I put it up online to a lot of people, could you tie this, Davie? Could you tie this one? And this basically what this is a Dunkeld basically, but slightly obviously a variant. It's a cloaked style, it's a small palmer. It works really well. It's a good colour combination. You really can't go far wrong. And it's a nice way. It's the way I tie it. Is these are smaller flies. These are like you're talking like 12s and 14s, and this is a great way of doing it. And it's another good thing about doing this is using up like feather fibre that is like really long, but in a smaller fly, and reducing it. And this is what I'm going to do. The method looks unusual. It all pulls together at the end. You'll see how it works. And it's just basically sitting for years tying flies and trying to find this fly's not tied. If you follow the textbooks, you would never find it tied like this. So, but anyway, hook choice is up to yourself. Now I've tied in quite a few hooks. This here is the competition heavyweight from Fowl, size 12. The thread I'm going to be using is Uni thread 80. I'm going to use the red just to highlight the head a bit, and we start at the eye. So, and basically what I like to do is come down about halfway. Now I have waxed the thread, and I'm going to wax it again just at this point. Now give yourself a head length away before you do this. Now this is just a wing quill from a Guinea fowl which is dyed blue. I like to use up the wing quills, so you could use the smaller feathers. And I'm going to bring out some of the fibres, not too many. Just this is going to be rolled round much like I'm going to be doing with the bronze mallard and tied forward. So we tear this off. You basically take enough off that it's going to rotate round the hook. So usually what I do is first thing is roll the fibres within my fingers, just so they're all mixed up. You're looking for a length. Now this is where you try and get the balance. Now the blue could be the same length as the bronze mallard, but I prefer it less. So you're looking at like less than the hook side, the length of the hook. So it's there. So I pinch the area where I want to tie it in, just to mark it, and then I roll the fibre by keeping the thread tight all the way around. Just roll the fibres all the way around. And just you can check to see how it's. You only need an impression, don't need too much. So just lay them flat, trim these away. I'm going to do the same with the bronze mallard. Now I've got this is a medium to a small bronze mallard feather. Now I'll get 2 flies out of this. So I bring enough fibre out from the stem so the tips, as you can see, are lining up. Tail that away, and again I'm just going to roll these fibres within my fingers, and it messes them up. It rolls them. Now you can see the length there. So that the moment if you tied that in, it would be the same length as the blue, the Guinea fowl, but I want that longer. So again, we just roll it, just keep the thread tight, and allow the fibre to follow the thread all the way around, encouraging it when you go. And we can check to see if it's went all the way around, and that has. There we are. Trim that away. I'm just going to tidy up a wee bit, and then with my thread at the back, check the distance. I've still got a head length away from the eye. It's important that you do that. I'm going to tie in a cock hackle, in this case an orange, hot orange. You could use a saddle if you have a saddle, which is probably got a lot more flies out of this. It's just this one here. This is an American rooster that I bought quite a few years ago, and it was dyed like this. I didn't dye this. I'm sure this one came from Wopsy, Nice colour. So with these capes you don't get a huge amount of flies out it, but you can use the feathers up. As you can see, I've just trimmed that there just to make sure there's no lumps. And because I've slightly cut the fibres in a taper, it helps to give you that tapered body. It's not perfect, but it gives you it. So we work our way to the back of the hook until we're in line with the barb. And we tie in some, this is a golden pheasant crest. So we're looking for a single feather, fibre, or a feather, sorry. You don't want a single fibre, you want a feather. So there's the curved feather there. Just what I do is I hold the tail of the length I want. Now you're looking round about at least the shank length. So I hold the tail, catch it on the top. Now I usually like going underneath slightly just to tighten it up, and then I turn on top. Just check the length. If you're happy with the length, then that's just a wee tad short. I like a wee bit longer than that. So just go back. Again, if you're happy, then you can tighten up. That's a wee bit better. There we go. Then look at the taper of the body, and then trim the material so that you're encouraging that. Now I've got some, this is a small gold wire. Just going to catch this on. Just going to tidy up. You can see by trimming the crest it comes up to that area here, and it encourages slightly encourages the taper. Come back down, and then we tie in some just basically gold Lite-Brite. It's got a gold Lite-Brite. Just got some few fibres on my desk. You don't need much. You could use a tinsel here if you wish. Now don't put it on too heavy. Slide it up. Get it started. There's your anchor point. You can tighten to that point there, and then you just work up. Now stop at about, say when you get to your hackle, don't go right up against the hackle. Leave like a turn or two or so for the hackle, so that you don't want to bulk it up too much, especially when it comes to the fibres, because it will lift them too high or stop them from coming back anyway. So what we're going to do then, make sure our thread's up beside there. A couple of turns at the top for colour, and then we come through as quick as you want or as much as you want, depending how bumbly like it's going to be. If that happens, you just let it go back. These hackles, they tend to break at the tip sometimes. But remember, when you're winding this hackle on, you're winding it just tight enough to get it down, not to hold the fly together. What's going to do that is your rib. So there's your wire coming up, ribbing in and tightening up the body, all the way up. Now I like to tie it off in front of these. So what I do is I draw back the fibres, and then I do a turn in the front. Come round with the thread, catch it in, and then just keeping it nice and tight. Then you can bend and break away the wire when you're happy. You can break off, cut away the waste end. Now there's it's all the way around, it should be all the way around the hook. Just form a form head, but see, by keeping that head length you'll get all those materials. Now if you were tying them up at the top, it's a bit of a struggle to get a nice or a fine head. Tying it this way, as you see, it all pulls together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blow it with the hairdryer just to draw it back, just to get an idea what it's going to be like. But you want like these type of flies to be well open like that. So you can see I'm just going to blow it back and rub my fingers through the sides, just push it along the sides. And that should do it. Just set that down. And there you get that very bumble-like dabbler, or cloak dabbler. It's really nice. And then it's just a matter of, if you want to put jungle cock on it, you can, so I'm just going to do that. It's going to either do one eye or two eyes, you can split them. It's entirely up to yourself. I'm going to put 2 eyes on, 2 small eyes just to use them up. Get 2 the same size anyway. Now I put them on together, so I'm just going to line, you're seeing the underside of the jungle cock, so I hold the tips nice and tight, draw back what I don't need. I set them on so they're slightly up, hold them, come round with a couple of turns. Now it's just to check to see where they're sitting. And if you're happy with that, then all I like to do is come down, fold these back. Now this does bulk up the head a wee bit, but don't worry, because I'd rather have the jungle cock staying on than falling out. And then keeping the thread tight, I can break that off, and then I can whip finish. So a couple of things you could do. You could put a wee bit of Lite-Brite in front as well, but this fly doesn't need it. And then we can trim away. And there we go, that's it, all pulls together in the end, as I say. And then we can then touch the head. The varnish all the way around. And there we go. And that's it's just a variant of the Dunkeld. It's the way it's tied. It's a good way. It's a good way of managing materials and getting a neater finish. And that's all it's in. When you're tying these, you can really go quite quick. Just to give you an idea, I've got a couple of flies here that I'd like to show you. Just to show you these. These are mayflies. Normally these are tied huge. I've used the hackles up. You'll see it in both. The French partridge, the feathers are usually quite big, and when you're tying really small, to wind it you can't do it. And I've tied this the same way, and you can see on this one I've actually finished off with some dubbing. This is the McPhail mayflies. It's just a small version, but it's a really good fly up north. There's much tied in smaller flies. It just allows you to that style to tie small and get it neat without causing you too much issues. Like, once you get into it, you'll get used to tying that style. So anyway, there we are. That's it. That's the Dunkeld. Basically a kind of bumbo type cloak dabbler. Nice pattern. Certainly worth having in your box. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And again, if you enjoy the videos, please subscribe. And thank you for watching.